Hello, Giants fans, and welcome to your Valentine's Views podcast for Thursday, November 3. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts if you're listening to us across the big Blue View Radio network. All right, Giants GM Joe Schoen has been making the media rounds this week during the bye week, discussing the first half of the season for your 6-2 New York Giants. And one of the key things he's been discussing this week is the idea of contract extensions for several of the young Giants players. Most notably, Shane talking to Brandon Tierney and Tiki Barber on WFAN on Wednesday discussed the idea of a contract extension for star running back Saquon Barkley. We know that Barkley's future with the Giants has been hotly debated for months now, ever since Shane and Brian Daboll became the Giants' decision-making hierarchy. Shane said that we'd like to keep him, meaning Barkley, around here. What Shane didn't say was that he would be willing to break the bank to do that. He said that he would be willing to enter contract extension talks with Saquon and his representatives, but he didn't say we're willing to give Saquon Barkley a mega contract, a Christian McCaffrey contract, an Ezekiel Elliott contract, an Alvin Kamara contract. We're willing to give Saquon Barkley a blank check, long-term second contract with the Giants. And I think that even though Shane has now expressed his preference for keeping Barkley with the Giants, something that doesn't surprise me at all, I would still be very, very surprised if Joe Shane signs off on one of those long-term mega contracts. As Shane talked about during the trade deadline, there's things he would like to do, but there's a price point that he wasn't able to reach in trade talks. And in my view, Shane comes from a background in Buffalo and in other places where running backs didn't get big money. They weren't paid long-term second, expensive second contracts. I think that Shane would love to keep Saquon Barkley with the Giants, but I will be surprised, very, very surprised, if Joe Shane in this Giants front office is willing to give Barkley one of those big mega contracts for the next 4 or 5 years. I still believe that the most likely outcome, because Barkley is going to want one of those big contracts, especially coming off of the season that he's having. Currently second in the NFL in yards rushing, second in the NFL in total yards from scrimmage. I believe he might be first in the league in overall touches for an offensive player. He's having a tremendous season. He's showing us that the talent he displayed as a rookie in 2018 is still there. He's been a huge, huge part of the Giants' success as they've gotten to 6-2. You know that when Barkley and his representatives get to the negotiating table, they're going to want big money. I would be surprised if Joe Shane is willing to give him big money. I still think that what's going to happen with Saquon Barkley for the 2023 season is that the Giants end up franchise tagging Barkley for Saquon 2023 and continuing perhaps to negotiate a deal with him beyond that point. I'll be surprised if between now and the beginning of next season, Barkley and the Giants reach some type of long-term deal. The other thing that Shane talked about were contract extensions for some of the Giants' other young core players. He included Daniel Jones in that discussion, although he said the evaluation of Jones, who's played really, really well this year, is ongoing. And it sounds like the organization is still not 100% committed to Jones for the future. And if they are, they simply don't want to say it publicly. But Schoen mentioned four players in particular who are young core players as guys who might be in line for contract extensions. Andrew Thomas, the left tackle, who's been playing spectacular football all season long, might be playing at an all-pro level. Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle, who's playing the best football of his career. Xavier McKinney, safety, who has become the signal caller for the Giants defense and the leader of that group. And also Julian Love, who is really taking advantage of his first opportunity to be a starter as an NFL player in his fourth NFL season. Schoen said he might be willing to entertain some of those extension talks this week during the bye, but that after Monday, when the Giants get back to work preparing for the Houston Texans in week 10, that he would pretty much shut that down because he didn't want any of that talk to be a distraction. Anyway, I think it's good to hear that Schoen and the Giants have begun to identify the core type of players they want to go forward with. So at some point here in the future, whether that's in the next few days or whether that's in the off season, I think you can look for some contract extensions for those players. All right, Giants fans, thank you as always for listening. Please take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.